What's up gamers, Lexi here with the Hydra Sorcerer build guide for Diablo 4. This is the best starter build for a new Sorcerer character to reach Torment 4 difficulty. Summon turrets that automatically spit at enemies for a fire and forget playstyle. I've been speed farming tier 83 pits in under a minute and a half without any mythic unique items. All the gameplay footage in this video is using the non-mythic setup covered in this build guide. If you haven't reached level 60 yet, follow my Incinerate Hydra Sorcerer leveling guide on Icy Veins to get started. The Incinerate Sorcerer is already one of the best leveling builds, and it has been optimized to include the newly buffed Hydra for another powerful source of burning damage. The starter endgame build for the Hydra Sorcerer has extremely high damage output that is easily scaled with minimal gearing. Serpentine Aspect consumes all mana and increases Hydra damage based on the amount of mana, so maximum mana is obtained through gear affixes and Elixir of Resourcefulness. Once you reach level 60, the endgame Hydra Sorcerer switches to a hit-based build instead of burning due to efficient crit scaling. Critical strike chance is capped at 100% without even needing affixes on gear, since a total of 90% crit chance is obtained through the skill tree and Paragon Setup alone. With the 5% base crit chance, the remaining 5% is granted through a moderate amount of dexterity. In this video, I'll break down the boss killing rotation so you can understand how the build works. Then I'll cover the entire build setup, including the skill tree, gear, and Paragon Setup. Stay tuned until the end of the video for a tier 75 pit speedrun, cleared in only 58 seconds. Let's get started. A boss killing rotation can be executed to optimize damage output. Before the boss spawns, start precasting Hydras to stack Crown of Lucian's buff 5 times for 75% increased damage. Keep Ice Armor refreshed to gain mana regeneration.
What is reality?
After stacking the Crown of Lucian buff, ensure you cast Hydras while at full mana to maximize the damage bonus from Serpentine Aspect. A staff is preferred against tormented bosses to double the aspect's effect. Cast a Familiar after Hydra to spawn an invoked Familiar that increases fire damage by 10%. Cast Inferno right before the boss spawns to gain 50% increased damage from Supreme Inferno. Once the boss becomes attackable, hit it with Frost Nova to apply Vulnerable and increase the damage they take by 15%. Keep casting Hydras every couple of seconds while at full mana to continue dealing damage. Let's cover the skill tree setup for speed farming with the Hydra Sorcerer. No basic skills are used in the build, but 2 skill points are spent as a prerequisite to unlock the core skill cluster. Elemental Dominance grants core skills increased damage, which works when Ophidian Iris is equipped to turn Hydra into a core skill. 1 skill point is allocated to Devastation to unlock the next defensive skill cluster. Since this setup is built for speed, 5 skill points are invested to lower the cooldown of Teleport. Shimmering Teleport provides some helpful damage reduction. Ice Armor is cast for barrier and mana regeneration. Shimmering Ice Armor procs multiple times when consuming the entire mana pool. With enough maximum mana and cooldown reduction, Ice Armor can be refreshed after every 2 casts of Hydra. Frost Nova makes enemies vulnerable, increases the damage they take by 15%, and activates Hoarfrost. Hydra is the main damage dealing skill, so 5 skill points are allocated, and then I have an additional 5 ranks to core skills on my gloves. Enhanced Hydra significantly boosts damage output while you're healthy. Staying at full life shouldn't be difficult due to the barriers from Ice Armor and Protection. Invoked Hydra is selected for this crit-based build, whereas Roaring Hydra would be used in a burn-based build. Familiar is cast after fire skills to gain 10% increased fire damage. 3 skill points are allocated to Primordial Binding with additional ranks from Ophidian Iris. This is an important buff to summon damage, movement speed, and mana regeneration that stacks up to 10 times. The 10 summons needed to fully stack Primordial Binding are easily maintained by Spirit Wolves from the Nagu-Che Runewood. Mana Shield provides valuable damage reduction that is activated from spending mana from casting Hydra. In the Mastery cluster, Inner Flames and Devouring Blades are fully allocated to increase damage output. 5 skill points are invested into Inferno to lower its cooldown. Inferno is cast to pull enemies together and increase Hydra damage by 50%. For damage increases, Permafrost, Hoarfrost, Icy Touch, and Elemental Synergies are fully invested into. Evocation rank 3 reduces the cooldown of teleport for faster speed farming. This hit-based Hydra build utilizes SU's Ferocity for crit chance and crit damage. Combustion would be used instead for a burning-based build. In the enchantment slots, equip Hydra to spawn an additional 2 summons above the normal cap. Teleport enchantment is used for more speed to traverse maps. This is the non-Mythic gear setup that I'm using in all the gameplay footage in this video. Ophidian Iris is the most important unique item to enable Hydra projectiles to explode on impact for clearing. Hydra also gains the core skill tag to benefit from additional ranks to core skills. Prioritize a high increased damage value in the unique effect. Ranks to Primordial Binding and then percent intelligence are preferred for greater affix and masterworking bonuses. Axial Conduit is another valuable unique item, even though none of the chain lightning benefits are utilized. This item is equipped for resource generation and maximum resource affix. The percentage value is insane since it multiplies maximum resource after the sources of flat values are added, allowing for more mana to be consumed by Serpentine Aspect. Prioritize bonuses on the resource affix. Damage reduction is the only other affix that is useful here, to a lesser degree. Crown of Lucian is highly recommended and much easier to obtain than the mythic unique Harlequin Crest. The unique effect stacks to increase damage by a massive 75%. The downside of increased resource cost is not applied to this build, since none of the skills used have a mana cost. Prioritize bonuses on cooldown reduction for speed farming. Raiment of the Infinite is the non-mythic alternative to Shroud of False Death. Its unique effect works with both teleport and evade teleport to group enemies together and stun them. Focus bonuses on ranks to Glass Cannon for more damage output. The rest of the legendary items imprint Serpentine, Flash Fire, Battle Casters, and Storm Swell for offensive aspects. For speed farming, a one-handed weapon is recommended over a staff if you have a good focus with cooldown reduction and maximum resource. The choice for a one-handed weapon type doesn't make a noticeable difference. I might prefer a sword for higher damage per hit and a lower attack speed, but a wand or dagger also works well. Apply masterworking bonuses to the additional Hydra head affixes in both weapon slots for more damage granted by Ophidian Iris. For bosses in pit pushing, equip a staff imprinted with Serpentine Aspect for maximum damage output. Stormswell Aspect is removed from the build for this setup. The legendary ring focuses on Inferno cooldown reduction and attack speed for faster Hydra spits. On the legendary gloves, boost the ranks to core skills affix to increase Hydra damage. The utility tempo should be Hydra Lucky Hit Chance, but I failed to hit it on this item. Equip legendary boots if the attacks reduce evade's cooldown implicit stat, and the evade cooldown tempo to teleport more often. Mana per second is also ideal to quickly recover mana for Serpentine Aspect. Aspect of the Orange Herald is imprinted to reduce the cooldown of Inferno. The Poxec Runewood also reduces Inferno cooldown for more casts. Nagucha is slotted to summon Spirit Wolves, which is extremely beneficial to keep Primordial Binding capped at 10 stacks for max bonuses. The best elixir to consume is Resourcefulness 2 for 25 maximum resource to increase the damage bonus from Serpentine Aspect. For incense, I typically use Sage's Whisper, Song of the Mountain, and Soothing Spices. These buffs are necessary to cap resistances and armor in this build. Let's summarize the Paragon setup for the Hydra Sorcerer. The legendary Paragon nodes used to increase damage include Enchantment Master, Fundamental Release, Searing Heat, and Elemental Summoner. Damage is also increased by the socketed glyphs Destruction, Conjurer, Pyromaniac, Tactician, and Eliminator. For survivability, rare and magic nodes grant maximum life and damage reduction, while also capping resistances and armor. Follow my written guide on Icy Veins for the base and full Paragon setups. In Season 9, Horajic Spellcraft provides seasonal powers to enhance the Hydra Sorcerer. Assign Cosmic Anomaly to your familiar skill slot to trigger when cast. Floaty Bubble is equipped for a blink, allowing a third mobility button in addition to teleport and evade teleport. Reactive Ooze makes fully recovering mana much easier. Fractured Core deactivates those pesky damage reduction auras from certain elites. Glacier Nimbus is selected as the infusion to chill enemies. Hire Rahier is the primary mercenary. Rahier's Aegis makes it easier to cap resistances, while Inspiration increases damage output. Variana is enlisted as the reinforcement to cast Bloodthirst for attack speed, triggered when casting Familiar. I'll leave you with a tier 75 pit speedrun cleared in only 58 seconds. Be sure to check the running guide on Icy Veins for all the build details and any future updates. If you learned something new in this video, you owe it to me to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, peace out and happy slaying.